that's life in the NFL, especially for, a team that's had the success that we've had. And so we understand that, like everything, Zach, like whether you're on a short week, long week, you have these processes that you go through and you constantly tweak them and try to make, I love our short week schedule right now.
5 short weeks on the Eagles schedule this season, and the last one coming up as we welcome you to Birds Huddle, presented by Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL. Barrett Brooks, Michael Barkan with you. Let's huddle up. Nick Sirianni talking short weeks as the Eagles play their last game on short rest Saturday. 5 short weeks in this season's schedule, most since Sirianni's been here, and the Birds are 2-2 in those games so far. Barrett, how much did that bother you in your playing days, and how much can it be? Can it be responsible for losses in the schedule?
It can be. When you have an undisciplined team, and we had to look at our team the past 5 games, we were undisciplined for, 4 of those games? We didn't get it right on track until we got to this, this last game when we got a get-right game against the Raiders. But, yes, we're creatures of habit. NFL football players want to do the same thing over and over again every day, get in their rhythm. And when you get thrown out of that rhythm, it kind of makes things a little wonky. But, hey, at the end of the day, you get paid to play. You got to take that. You got to be a professional and make it happen.
All right, here's Nick Sirianni now with our Bird's Eye View presented by Bush Auto Group.
I think he can be very successful and efficient any way he needs to go and play. And, whether that's the gun, whether that's in pistol, whether that's, under center, he's shown the fact that the ability to be able to win and be efficient and a good and, with everything from all different levels. So whether that's on the move, whether that's slightly on the move, whether that's a drop back, and right in the same area. I just think he's been efficient throughout his course of his career and everything that he kind of goes through.
Toyota 3-point stance. Stance number 1, the Eagles have found answers on offense. What stood out to you, Barrett?
Well, he just gave our game plan out. Don't give our game plan out. But it's evident. 30 plays this last game under center. It just showed a decided advantage against the defense because now you have to defend the run and the pass. With him going out there and being under center, those linebackers have to respect what they see. And that's guy underneath center so he can potentially drop back and hand the ball off to the running back. And we know Saquon Barkley, he doesn't like to say it, but he likes to run going downhill and hand the ball off and get in between them tackles and make some hay that way. But also when you get underneath center, it also gives the ability to run play action more effectively. Now those linebackers have to come up into the line. When they come up to the line, you can throw over the top of them. So it creates a void in between the linebackers and the safety and other DBs. That void is where the Eagles have been attacking. If you look at it, a lot of passes to tight ends. Like you look at Goddard at this point. Goddard is, he had great games because he's run across in the left field because we play action. Then you got to look at this also. When you run that type of protection, it gives you a solid foundation with the offensive line. Those guys play more effective because they come off and they're firing off the ball. Then they settle down and pass block. Now the defender doesn't know whether you're run blocking or you're pass blocking, so they get it kind of mixed up, and it gives you just one more second to get your hands on your defensive lineman and control the line of scrimmage then. So, it's twofold when you do that. Underneath center, it gives the illusion that you're running the ball, but also gives you solid protection because you keep tight ends in, running backs in, and also you have your offensive line firing off to better protect them. So you can push the ball down the field. And when you get those one-on-ones because they're trying to stop you and bring guys into the box, you can throw right over the top of those guys.
When you're that much more effective under center, why not do it almost all the time? We just saw the numbers and you just explained it.
Well, you don't want to be predictable now. Now you can go and do that. You go up from under center the whole time. Then, you have to stick to that game plan. Then you become predictable. Like, are they going to run the ball? We're just going to take a chance and let them throw over the top of us. So, you don't want to be predictable. You want to do it from all aspects. But, just him being under center is definitely a key for us.
Stance number 2, the Eagles should crush the Commanders. Washington is just 4-10 on the season and will be starting Marcus Mariota at quarterback. Can the Eagles handle them as they did the Raiders, Barrett?
They better handle them like that. This is a team, they're ready to pack it up. They know this season is over with. All these guys will probably be freestyling out there because they don't have anything to look forward to once the season is over with. 3 more weeks, these guys will be home and chilling, at this point. So it is not, necessarily you want to win as bad as if you have a chance to be into the playoffs. Not saying guys aren't competitive. You want to go out there and you got to be competitive. But, there is something in the back of your mind like, man, we out here playing and we ain't got nothing to play for. 3 games, guys are trying to get their own pad, their own stats. They might start freestyling because they're, trying to interview for 31 other teams. It's not like, these guys have anything to work for besides the 3 games they have and, having, the ability to get their film out to everybody else. I had that happen to me when I played for the Eagles. We went 3-13. Guys start freestyling. They start doing their own thing. And then look at, what happened then? Everything fell apart. It was a bad year. Offensive coordinator got, sat down and replaced. It was just a bad year, 3-13. It was terrible. So when you're in that situation, you're trying to play and really put film out for everybody.
A little bit later on, Barrett answers the question, why the huge fall off for Washington this season? They were NFC Championship game entrants last season. Stance number 3, reinforcements are coming soon. Lane Johnson has missed the last 4 games. Jalen Carter has missed 2 in a row. Their status for this week, still unknown. But it's not often you get to add 2 All-Pro players to the lineup late in the season. That's got to be a huge boost when it comes.
Huge, and I'll start off with Lane Johnson first. When you're at that tackle position, your front side, it just gives Jalen Hurts a more sound feeling, knowing that you have an All-Pro there, an All-World tackle there. So you tend to, rely on him being, guy, all right, I'm not worried about it. Him being there, we know what the record is, what he's there, what our winning percentage is. But then you look at Carter on the defensive side of the ball. I knew something was wrong with him because he wasn't playing at that level. Well, now that he's got them shoulders fixed and he's going to be all right, I can see a much more improved Jalen Carter going into this game. And I can see him collapsing the pocket and getting the things going to show everybody, hey, I was hurt. Now that I'm back, you're going to see the full flurry of what Jalen Carter can do. So I can't wait for him to get back.
It's going to be a great addition, 2 additions when they return.